You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687. 687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your health care? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their health care. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your health care, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your health care while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
At St. Jude, our family never sees a bill at all. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Sometimes writers feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
Oh, let me tell you something. I am so sick of Washington and all its works and all them politicians down there and them congressmen. I'll bet you won't find none of them congressmen signing down their electric blankets tonight. Which if they did, their secretaries would get up and go home.
We gotta do something. Absolutely. You know what we gotta do? Toga party.
Toga! 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 Toga!
Click, click, boom! I'm coming down on the stereo, put me on the radio. Click, click, boom!
I want you to kill every golfer on the course.
Check me if I'm wrong, Sandy, but if I kill all the golfers, they're gonna lock me up and throw away the key.
Well, all right. It's Friday night, which means it's time for Robinson and Wright. We're live right now on KARNradio.com, where liberty and reason still reign, and where we are not afraid to talk about the FISA memo, unlike the left and never Trumpers and most of the media who are still running around in circles like chickens with their head cut off, screaming that it's not real, it doesn't matter, it doesn't impact anything. I'm sorry, folks, it impacts a lot, and we're going to talk about that. We also have a new parody from the Third Rail Ramblers in honor of the Super Bowl that we'll be playing when we come back from our commercial break at the bottom of the hour. But before we do that, I guess I should give a chance for my co-host to say hello, and we'll get everything started. So good evening, Mr. Dan. How are you?
Good evening. I am tired, but other than that, pretty good. Been a long week, and in the middle of the week, I did do a little bit of radio with you and Jen.
That was fun. We need to do that again.
Yes, it was fun.
I've decided from now on like a Tuesday or Thursday, if I have something come up or my voice is messing up and I just really don't want to talk much, I'm just going to put you two on the air and I can produce, because you two were like, and trust me, this is not a complaint, but I could barely get a word in edgewise. And I'm like, hey, this is working out great. I'm just sitting there pushing buttons. They're doing all the work.
It seems to happen every time you put the two of us on together.
Yeah, motor mouth.
We go, oh, just sit over there, Mr. Producer. We'll take it from here.
Pretty much. Which was fun.
But yeah, that was fun. That was good. I kind of needed it after, I did my due diligence, and I sat down and I watched the State of the Union, which I was actually fairly happy with, and watched, as we started the show, watched Twitter just explode, which gave us a lot of material for the show.
Yeah, it was a mess.
But, yeah, so we had that this week. We had the State of the Union, which, CBS put out a poll, and the overwhelming majority of the country was happy with that State of the Union. But if you listen to the Never Trumpers and the Democrats out there, it was horrible and everybody still hates him. It was CBS that put out the poll. CBS. It wasn't Fox News. It wasn't Breitbart. It was CBS.
Yeah, I don't understand that, honestly, because I saw The Hill had put out a poll, I think it was 2 days later, saying how everybody still hates Trump, and I'm like, dude, CBS even says you're lying, so what the hell? I mean, yep. And here's the thing, yes, what was it? Was it a cheerleader night? Yes, but here's one of the things that drives me crazy. As somebody who is a full-on political junkie, but one of the things that drives me nuts is that's actually what the State of the Union is really supposed to be about. It's about focusing on what the president has the ability to celebrate about what's happened the previous year, and focusing on putting everybody in line for the task that he has for the coming year. So, I mean, it really is a pep rally for the entire country. So all these people all over Facebook the day after were like, I'm so tired of all these State of the Unions where all they do is rah, 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 and talk about how good everything is and what they're going to do to make it better. He should have been talking about the national debt, and he should have done this, and he should have done that. He doesn't have to talk about the national debt. He's fixing it by bringing jobs back to America that every other president for the last 40 years has told us we're never coming back. He doesn't have to talk about fixing it. He's doing it.
Absolutely. I mean, like you and I were talking a little bit before we started tonight. Both of us, we were both, I mean, honestly, in the primaries, we were both in that never Trump category. We didn't want him. We thought it was ridiculous that he was even running. But when it gets down to the end game, he won. He's the president. Why? I find it so just absolutely counterproductive to you don't have to like the guy, but why in the world would you hope for him not to succeed? He's the leader of your country. You should want him to succeed. And for the most part, he is succeeding. He's doing some really good stuff. I don't agree with everything he does. I don't. But I will acknowledge when he's doing good things. And everybody says, oh, yeah, the new tax plan. Yeah, you're going to cut income to the Fed, and all it's going to do is it's just going to raise the national debt and the deficit and everything else. No, it's not. They don't. It's people that don't understand economics, and I'm no economics major. But when you actually bring companies back that have left the country, and you actually have companies that are reinvesting money, they're pledging to reinvest money into the country, how is that not helping to improve the country financially? Can any of them explain it to me? No, they can't. They just do not want Trump to succeed. They actually do not want the president of their own country to succeed. They want him to fail, which basically is saying they want us to fail. You know,
I'm going to take it a step further, and I don't mean to cut you off. This is no longer a want for them. They need him to fail. He has to fail because in their mind, he is the worst possible person to be president of the United States. I had somebody on my timeline for hours yesterday while I was at work, who I mostly ignored, who was calling me Satan for supporting President Donald Trump, who told me that hate begets hate and that he's a better Christian than me because I support Donald Trump. So I kept asking him, so show me in the Bible where Jesus said the phrase hate begets hate. He didn't say that. Then how can you claim to be a better Christian than I am when you tell me the reason you hate me is because I'm giving the president, who is the president, the benefit of the doubt until I have something that tells me that I shouldn't give him the benefit of the doubt? And for all of, and look, I am not, I don't like some of the things that Trump does. I don't like the way that he talks to people in public, and I definitely don't like the fact that he's cheated on his wives. But here's the thing. For all of you that are throwing all this trash and all this shade his way, let's not forget, if you really want to start playing the Christian card, who did Jesus spend most of his time with when he was here on earth? Did he go around with the Billy Graham types? Did he go around with the Benny Hinn types? Did he go around with all these I'm more holy than you types? No, those were the people that he was talking trash to. He spent his time with bums, with hookers, with poor people, with people that nobody else wanted to have anything to do with. And the one thing that nobody talks about is, and I'm going to catch crap for this, but I'm going to do it anyway, because I think a lot of you have forgotten that I actually used to be a pastor. So I'm going to let some of that out tonight, because here's the thing. When God called David to do the things that David did later in life, he called him to do those things after he had already cheated on his wife. You don't have any place in your life to judge Donald Trump for the things that he's done, because as a Christian, that is not what you're supposed to do. Can you talk to him about those things if he's a close friend of yours? Yes. Can you counsel him about them? Yes. Was he supposed to have done those things? No. But what have you done that you have not, that you weren't supposed to do, that God died for you, that Jesus died for you too? So stop telling me how imperfect Donald Trump is, because we know how imperfect Donald Trump is. He's just as imperfect as the rest of us. That's the point. None of us are perfect. One person was perfect on this planet, and he was crucified so that we could live eternal life. So don't tell me how terrible Donald Trump is, because when you start doing that, and remember, there was a time that I was just as bad about this, but that's part of what I've been rebuked about over the last year or so, was me with the holier than thou attitude, and I started looking at some of the things that I've done in my life. Some of the bad decisions that I've made, the bad choices that I've made, that I was forgiven for. I cannot not say that the same thing can happen for him. So you don't have any right to stand up and say that he's not Christian enough to be president of the United States, because when it comes right down to it, no one is Christian enough to be the president of the United States.
You're absolutely right. And I know the exact conversation that you're talking about, because I was involved in it too. And I know this person. And he is a complete and total holier than thou person. And he didn't used to be that way. It's all about this. I mean, I told him, I said, he said he is going to vote for Democrats until he sees every single Republican that in any way supports Trump eradicated. And I said, okay, so you're going to go against your own moral convictions, and you are going to vote pro-abortion, you're going to vote pro-taxation, and you are going to vote pro-gun grab just out of spite over one man. And he said, yes, and if you don't do it, you're Satan. I said, okay. Okie dokie.
But it's not even, it's pro-taxation, pro-gun grab, pro-illegal immigration, pro-sanctuary cities, pro-abortion. And that's the thing that I can't wrap my head around this, because everybody that's telling me that I can't consider myself a Christian anymore because I'm giving the President of the United States a chance to be the President of the United States, because he's evil, because he's had affairs, or because he's done this. The simple fact of the matter is, folks, we don't know what he has done or what he hasn't done. And what concerns me, and I had to have this pointed out by Jen, the other co-host who you were on with me on Tuesday, I had to have this pointed out to me, and I don't even know when it started changing for me. Because in this country, we have a fundamental belief that you are innocent until proven guilty. And somewhere along the way, over the last several years, that has changed. And unfortunately, that has changed on both sides. And I think a lot of it on the right started changing when people like Rush Limbaugh started coming to the forefront. As much as I'm doing the exact same thing that he does most of the time, I don't usually try to be the one saying, well, I'm telling you right now, I'm 100% sure these people did wrong things. Because I remember during the Clinton years how much Rush slammed Bill Clinton. I have to tell you, as of right now today, if I had to deal with Bill Clinton from 1990 as opposed to Bill Clinton from today, I would rather deal with Bill Clinton from 1990. Because if you listen to a lot of the things that he said back then, he sounds like a Republican now. But that's how much each party has shifted. Because in the 90s, he was the devil as far as the Republicans were concerned. I was just coming to adulthood at that point and was just really starting to get involved in politics. So I didn't really have that much of a frame of reference. But Bill Clinton in the 90s, as far as Rush Limbaugh was concerned, was Satan incarnate. I mean, it's no different than what we're watching the Democrats do with Donald Trump today. But I look back at Bill Clinton now, and I've said this on the air on Finding Common Ground years ago, and somebody else that has been trolling my timeline, who I finally figured out I couldn't mute because I was following them, so I fixed that, because I was like, why the hell do I keep seeing you when I have you muted? And I was like, oh, I bet it's because I'm following you. Let me fix that. So he kept saying there's no way in hell that you said this. So I've said this on every show since then. I said this all the way back, and I believe it was about 2013. It was back when we had really started doing full-time radio stuff, and Finding Common Ground was one that I did on the weekends with a fellow liberal co-host, because, you know, unlike everybody else, I don't necessarily mind getting different opinions. I actually enjoy conversations about different things that we may not always agree on, as long as they can remain civil. But I said on the air on that show, if Bill Clinton had managed to keep his dick in his pants and had managed to not perjure himself, he probably would have gone down in history as one of our better presidents. Now, the only downside to that is he was getting credit for a lot of the things that happened once the Republicans took over Congress, but I don't give a crap who gets the credit as long as stuff was getting fixed. Bill Clinton put in Bill Clinton put in the work for benefit program. Obama stripped that out the first day he was in office.
Yeah. Well, you said something. You said that, you know, Bill Clinton sounded a lot more like a Republican, and how things have switched. Things haven't switched. It's just that both parties have moved left. The Democrats have moved further left, and the Republicans have moved left, to where the Republicans now are kind of, not on a whole, but for the most part, at least Republicans in the House and Senate are about where Clinton was when Clinton was president, but the Dems have moved further left from there. You know, which just it shows how much more towards socialism this country is moving. We essentially right now, and Trump is kind of moving it back a little, but we are a socialist country. I mean, to me, there's no doubt about that. If you look at the special interest groups and the welfare state we have and everything else, we're maybe socialist light, but we're a socialist country, and we're moving more and more in that direction. You know, so it's not necessarily that Republicans and Democrats have flip-flopped from where we were with when Clinton was president. It's just that everybody has moved left. You know, it's not. I think we're on a very dangerous path towards true socialism, and to be honest with you, I am pleasantly surprised, because what really worried me the most about Trump is that he's essentially been a lifelong Democrat. And what really worried me about him being president was that he was going to move us further left. And he's actually kind of stalled that a little bit. He's moving it back. I think the one good thing about him is he is a capitalist, and he understands business. And I think what he's done with this tax plan, and it's not perfect, but you can't have everything. You can't. Just something too drastic isn't going to help, but it's moving us back a little bit. And his stance on immigration. Everybody calls him a racist. He's not a racist. He's even saying that he's willing to look into some kind of amnesty program, which I waver on, but I kind of understand. He's offering a little bit of an olive branch there, but basically what he's saying is, if we do some kind of amnesty, that's it. That's it. There's no, after that, you come here legally, or you don't come here, or if you do, you're gone. And that's the way it needs to be. And we've tried that before, so it worries me a little bit, but I understand where he's coming from. He's the president, and he's actually being a little bit of a diplomat with the other side. And we do need some of that, and we'll see how that pans out. But overall, I really think he's stalled it. He's definitely acting more conservative than Bush was.
And see, that's the thing, and this is the part that I can't really understand, because being part of being part of what was essentially the Never Trump movement, I don't really know what they should call themselves now, because I think they might as well just change themselves to #resist, to be quite honest. But being part of that movement at the time, it made sense, because one of the things that I was afraid of was that, first of all, he wasn't going to beat Hillary Clinton, because everybody was assuring us, and even people much smarter than, or at least much smarter than I thought I was, were telling us there was no way in hell that was ever going to happen. And the memos started coming out about this is the person that she wanted to run against, and they're like, oh my God, they're playing right into the Clinton machine. But somehow he managed to beat them. But my other thought was, if somehow he got elected because of the way that he behaved on the debate stage and in the primaries and on TV and everything else, that this country would be a smoking crater within 6 months. Nothing could be further from the truth. They just put out a projection for first quarter GDP to be above 5%. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen, but the fact that they're putting out news stories like that is going to drive people's confidence, which is going to make it what could be considered, if nothing else, a self-fulfilling prophecy. And this is before the tax cuts even officially kick in, which, by the way, I had an extra $75 on my paycheck today. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I haven't been able to completely analyze my pay stubs, but we just hooked up with a new system where I don't even get a physical pay stub anymore. My pay stub basically comes to an app, and it looks like it's hard to tell with me, because my pay fluctuates. I am hourly, and I may work 45 hours one week and I may work 65 hours the next week. So it's hard to tell. So I really have to analyze it, but it seems like with this week's pay, judging on the hours I worked last week, that I probably had an extra $60, $65 in my check, which is nice.
Yeah. I mean, and I wasn't, because, honestly, when it comes right down to it, my wife and I make good money together, but neither one of us really makes a lot separately, so I really wasn't expecting to see that much back on my check, so I'll be interested to see if it stays that way. But, an extra $75 on my check is an extra $75 on my check. For me, that's just a little bit under $40 a week, because I get paid every 2 weeks, which is right about what I was expecting for people in my bracket to get. Because, I don't really make a lot of money. But in my state, I don't have to make a lot of money, because you take my wife's income and my income and put them together, and we're still considered middle class. But that's two-income working family. But also that means that next year, our standard deductions are going to double. Right now, we're itemizing because we're trying to get as much as we can off of the things that we do to do our little chicken farm and our garden and everything else, because we technically have a homestead now. So there's all kinds of things that we can write off and deduct. Next year, I don't think we're necessarily going to have to do that when the new tax rates kick in. The only thing that upsets me about the new tax rates is people won't see the benefits of the new actual tax structure until after the election. That's one of the things that does kind of upset me a little bit. I wish there would have been a way to make the actual, like, the changes to the tax code kick in this year, but there was no way to get it done in time. Another little interesting point, because one of the things that I've been talking about lately with Chad Alexander from KOKC is the fact that we are in the middle of, these aren't really political disagreements anymore. We're not just disagreeing with people politically. We are in what is, in effect, a cold civil war, if you will, or a civil war being fought so far not by bullets or projectiles or knives, but with social media. And the funny thing is, he's been saying that for weeks. I've been saying it for weeks. Dan Bongino just said the same thing today. That we are basically in the middle of what could be considered a cold civil war. Because nobody is allowed to disagree with anybody anymore and find any differences. And the scariest thing that this memo shows us, that the left is just fine with, is the police state style tactics. I mean, they're telling us how horrible local and state police are, but we're supposed to treat the FBI like they're golden. Which I don't really understand from one point, because I always try to side with law enforcement, but when you're talking about police state style spying, things that could be seen as McCarthyism, federal investigations into political opponents that were politically guided, interference in foreign elections by foreign operatives, and no, I'm not talking about Russians, I'm talking about Steele, because whether anybody wants to admit it or not, he was a foreign operative, and even Russian intelligence is fine as long as it benefits Democrats. I don't understand where we are right now. This shouldn't be a partisan issue anymore. This should be, hey, this previous administration weaponized everything that it touched. We need to fix this. We need to find out what's broken, figure out who's doing it, and get it fixed. But instead, it's, well, the memo's fake. The memo's not, the guy that wrote the memo didn't even read the underlying documents. No, because he sent Trey Gowdy in to read them, because that was the agreement they made. One person was going to get to read the FISA documents. So and everybody's, well, he's just the guy that's the agricultural, blah, blah, blah. Well, of course, that's why he sent Trey Gowdy in. Trey Gowdy is in the legal profession. He's going to be able to understand the documents that he's reading. And that's all that the never-Trumpers and everything, well, they're talking about this Nunez memo. He didn't even read the stuff for the stuff that he's writing about. Well, no, are you kidding me right now? If he did read it, you'd be making fun of the fact that he didn't understand it because he's a farmer. But the fact that he didn't read it because he sent in an attorney who could understand it, you're still making fun of the guy. I don't understand how we got to this point where everything the left does is great and everything Trump does is terrible.
Yeah, I mean, you and I both watched it the other day. We watched Tom Nichols talk to anybody that said anything to him like they were stupid dolts, telling them there's no point in this memo being released because you idiots will not understand a word of it. And the memo drops, everybody understands every word of it, and now they're all like, it means nothing. This thing means nothing. What do you mean it means nothing? What, because we can understand it? You know, I said it tonight, and I know you saw I said it. You know, everybody's like, ha, 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 this is nothing. And I've said it. It's not the smoking gun, but it's the bullet in the chamber. There will be a smoking gun. I mean, I will go out on a limb and tell you, smoking gun, leave the chamber.
I guess, and then we really need to take a break. But I guess again, what really floors me is the fact that we're like the fact that Steele Now, I knew that he was biased because I'd heard bits and pieces about that he was biased against Trump, but I hadn't heard some of the things that were mentioned in this memo, that he was willing to do whatever it took to make sure that Donald Trump did not become president of the United States. Now, I want that part of it to sink in really, really close, folks, because I want you to listen to what I just said. The person who was basically the basis for most of the information from this memo, or from this FISA warrant, other than a Yahoo News story, for God's sake, which we haven't even touched on yet, was willing to do whatever it took to make sure that Donald Trump never became president of the United States. Now, what exactly does that mean when someone says they're willing to do whatever it takes to make sure something doesn't happen? Because that's the part that nobody's talking about. When the basis for your warrant becomes biased, then you have a problem, a huge problem. They're also talking about, and his name escapes me right now because I don't have it pulled up because I've been cleaning my computer all day, so I've been kind of afraid to pull up more than one tab. But they keep talking about one of these other people that was involved that I guess was under investigation because of him meeting with Russians at one point or another. So that was part of their basis for the FISA warrants, were these meetings. You can't get a FISA warrant based on meetings. In order for FISA warrants to be approved, you have to have definite proof that someone is working as a government agent from a foreign party. They didn't have it. So get ready for a lot of things to start coming out, and be ready for the phrase fruit of the poison tree to start becoming a huge part of the American lexicon over the next few weeks, because what we have seen is that a lot of the information that has been uncovered using this warrant is likely not going to stand up in court. Which takes me back to another conversation that people were ridiculing me about over the weekend when they kept asking me, what would you consider evidence? Something that will hold up in court. Fruit from the poison tree will not hold up in court, ladies and gentlemen. So I stand by my assertion that I made multiple times. First of all, the collusion in this instance is actually not a crime. It's only mentioned in antitrust cases, not in dealing with governments and other government agencies. But at the same time, if you want something to be considered evidence, it must stand up in court. The FISA warrant in and on its face violated President Trump's Fourth Amendment rights. Period. End of sentence. End of discussion for the moment. Anything you want to add before we go to break?
No, because I was just basically going to say what you just said.
Nice.
That I mean, if something is done to violate the constitutional rights of a U.S. citizen and at the same time try to undermine a presidential election, that's treason.
Exactly. Now here's the problem, and then we really do have to take a break, because I keep saying we're going to do it, and then I keep coming up with other points. But here's the problem. Knowing what we know now, if there does not start being some sort of movement to at least pursue some sort of criminal action from some of the people involved in this, we're in trouble, because we might as well just admit that there are different laws for different types of people and just move on and just be like, rule of law doesn't matter anymore. That's part of the reason why I moved out in the country, folks, because I had a feeling this was coming. And at least now I'm far enough away from town that if you want to try to come get me, you're probably going to get shot. So, but anyway, we're going to take a break.
Booney Brothers.
Yeah, pretty much. We're going to take a break. When we come back from break, actually right after we come back from break, because we are down to about 20 minutes, and we'll have even less by the time we play the commercials. But we're going to play the parody that Third World Ramblers have put together in honor of the Super Bowl. I don't think my co-host has heard this one yet. It is absolutely amazing. I urge you to stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
You're out here acting so tough, and now I'm calling your bluff. Black hoods and no faces. We'll take
So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your healthcare? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their healthcare. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your healthcare, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your healthcare while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
And now I'm calling black hoods and no faces.
All right, folks, welcome back. Well, without further ado, here is the most recent offering from KLRN Radio's very own house parody band, the Third Rail Ramblers, our very own Two Cynic Al and Polyphone Pontiff, also known as Beaker. So if you're not following them on Twitter, please do so. Although right now I don't think you'll find Al's account. He's taking a social media break. But he did inform me today that at some point he will be back. So be on the lookout. And as soon as you see them both, give them a follow. But without further ado, in honor of the Super Bowl, this is Take a Knee by the Third Rail Ramblers.
When I find myself in leftist bubbles, PC culture beckons me, preaching you're a victim, take a knee. And like a dour Marxist, I will kneel in solidarity, preaching you're a victim, take a knee. Take a knee, take a knee, take a knee, take a knee. There must be a schism, take a knee. And when an impulse-saddled POTUS suggests your boss should fire thee, reaction be your answer, take a knee. This course of action charted, people wonder if we said to be disrespect Old Glory. Take a knee, take a knee, take a knee, just like Nancy Pelosi, who just can't say Kaepernick. Take a knee, take a knee, take a knee, take a knee, take a knee. There must be a schism, take a knee. Percentage proven, police the same lethality. But we will cry caste system, take a knee, take a knee, take a knee against police brutality. But we can beat our women, take a knee, yeah, take a knee, take a knee. Multi-million-dollar prison, take a knee. But we'll just use plantation rubric, spending millions to believe that flag to me it ain't none. Take a
And that, folks, was Take a Knee by the Third Rail Ramblers, KLRN Radio's very own house parody band. And I keep threatening to do this, and I just haven't done it yet because I kept waiting to put a graphic together. But I'm actually going to put a section together for them on their Spreaker page because we have, like, tons of things that they've put out. And I want people to be able to just go find them by searching for them specifically. And I'll do it without the graphic for now, but I will eventually get them a graphic put together once they tell me something that they will approve. But that way you guys will have a section that you can go check out all of their work, so it's all in one place. Because right now they're spread out between our stuff, SoundCloud, they're on JD and Stacy's old SoundCloud. I want them kind of all in one place now that they've kind of been adopted by the whole station. So that is actually one of the reasons why I will not be doing an America Off the Rails tonight, because I've been telling these guys for months that I was going to do this, and I just can't find the time. So now that I've got my computer behaving well or better, I'm going to do some more work on it, and I'm going to finally start working on getting this stuff put together for them. It'll take me a few days to get them all put in there, but I'm going to start by just starting to get it done. Because if I don't get caught up on some of these things that I've been putting off, I'm never going to get them done.
Well, that's a good idea too, because
they're
Al
awesome, and I don't want them to think that we
amazing.
take them for granted. They're absolutely amazing, and I don't ever want them to think that we take them for granted. And I've been telling them for weeks that I was going to get this done, and it's just one thing always leads to another, or there's some other family situation, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm not going to do a show tonight because it already didn't work earlier, and I got most of my ranting out of the way. Speaking of which, I know you wanted to say something about the Super Bowl, and we're starting to run out of time, so I'm going to stop rambling now.
I did, and I saw something, I believe it was yesterday. Apparently, this just cracks me up. Apparently, there's big plans by both Black Lives Matter and Antifa to do what they can to disrupt the Super Bowl. Now, wait a minute. Stop right there. Black Lives Matter wants to disrupt the NFL, who not only a huge chunk of the players, but apparently the commissioner, have bent over backwards to kind of give them support. Are they saying that basically is it against the fans that aren't happy with the pro? What is the end game here? Is what I'm wondering. What do you get out of protesting the one organization that is kind of allowing your protests to go on? I mean, Antifa is Antifa. I mean, they're just going to protest anything that has anything to do with capitalism and anything they can do to be everything they say they're against. But what is Black Lives Matter gonna get out of protesting or disrupting the Super Bowl? That is my question. Does it make any sense to you at all?
I don't think they know. I think it's become the situation where, and this is something that honestly I never thought that I would see in my lifetime, because I remember over the last few election cycles, all of the right-leaning pundits talking about the right being a circular firing squad, that we couldn't come together to be able to get anybody elected, and at the end of the day when we lost, all we kept doing was taking shots at each other and fighting amongst ourselves. Now, we're still seeing a lot of that with Never Trump and the alt-right, and then those of us that are in the middle going, hey, he's doing a pretty good job, so let's just cut the guy a break and not pay attention to these crazy wackos on either side, please, and thank you very much. But now the left is the one they've gone from circular firing squad to full-on cannibalism, dude. They're straight up eating their own. Most of them don't even know what they stand for anymore, or take a knee for anymore, to be honest. It's what is as fun as it is to watch. It's downright scary, because they just, I mean, you think about it. Most of the people that they would be boycotting the NFL over to begin with aren't even going to be there, because they don't. Most of us don't even really watch it anymore. I mean, I will be honest; it will probably be on in my house, but not by my choice. My wife is a huge professional football nut. I'm more of a college guy, so it doesn't really hurt my feelings that professional football's gone crazy. But I have to admit, as a guy that spent a couple years in Delaware, I did kind of become an Eagles fan. So I'm kind of praying for a miracle and hoping that Tom Brady doesn't deflate his balls this year, but that's another story. Saying.
Well, I mean, look at where I am. I really don't have a, I don't have a horse in the race, but considering my ex-wife is an Eagles fan and my lovely Laura is a Patriots fan, kind of makes me a Patriots fan.
Yeah, well, it would have to, because you don't want to pick the ex-wife's team over the girlfriend's team, dude. That would be bad.
No.
Yeah,
that doesn't work.
That would be no bueno. You might wake up dead. I'm just saying.
Well, it's a good friend of ours Di posted a poll today on Twitter that said, who do you want in the Super Bowl? And it said the Eagles, the Patriots, I don't care, or I picked the Patriots because Di will kill me if I don't. And I picked the Patriots because Di will kill me if I don't, and responded to her and said, Laura will kill me too.
Well, I mean, it is kind of true. Just saying. But, sorry, Di, I'm still picking the Eagles. Just saying.
But anyway, that was what I wanted to say about Super Bowl. I don't get the mentality. I mean, with Antifa is Antifa. I mean, they're left of the left. They don't, they're pretty much, they aren't afraid to say it. They're straight up communists. But and I wouldn't attribute them to the left other than the fact that I see so many on the left that support them. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess you're moving in that direction. And, Antifa is just going to try to protest and stir up crap anywhere they can with anybody. And the left doesn't even, the Democrats don't even understand that they don't like them either. But I just don't understand. Black Lives Matter, they want people to recognize them and help support them. And, I to a certain extent, maybe a little tiny bit, maybe with a few of them, understand where they're coming from. Not that I agree with them, but maybe understand where they're coming from. But their tactics are awful. They're absolutely awful. They do things more just to seek attention than to seek attention to their cause. And I'm so over it. I'm over these groups, the Black Lives Matter groups, and the alt-right. And it doesn't matter what side. I'm done with these groups. I'm done with all these groups that do nothing but play identity politics. I'm over it. It needs to just stop. People need to stop giving them attention. I'm giving them attention now, but I'm giving them attention because people are giving them attention. And if people stop paying attention to them, they'll just go away.
We could hope. I'm not exactly sure they will, but we could hope. I'm just saying.
But that was my 2 cents on the Super Bowl, other than the fact that I have no choice but to root for the Patriots.
Well, you have a choice. You can not let your girlfriend pick out your pants. No, I'm just playing. No, I mean, seriously. I mean, come on. I just told you that the Super Bowl will be on in my house, even though I've pretty much been in boycott the NFL mode because my wife wins that argument. So, I don't have...
Well, I have too. And I mean, both of us, both would have been considered huge NFL fans up until the last year or so. I mean, I think Laura and I watched maybe 4 or 5 games this year, whereas last year it was, 4 games every week, 5 games every week, watching Red Zone and everything else. And this year, I watched the Ravens Steelers play twice, and we watched a couple of Patriots games, and that was about it for the whole entire season. So, but it is the Super Bowl. We'll end up watching it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I probably will be too, and I will probably be sorely disappointed because I'm sure that the Patriots will probably wind up beating the Eagles, but I just cannot bring myself to vote for or root for Tom Brady. I can't do it. I know people are gonna hate me for saying that, but it's just I gotta be me. So.
I get it. Oh, I get it. I mean, you know me. If you're gonna, I'm a Ravens fan. The Ravens and the Patriots have a pretty serious history here the last few years, especially in the playoffs. But the Eagles, come on, Rick.
Whatever. Actually, I've always kind of liked the Eagles. It's weird because my favorite teams have always kind of been impacted by my current geography. So in Oklahoma, we never had a professional football team because Jerry Jones is an asshole. However, I still was a Dallas Cowboys fan because that's the team that I grew up kind of watching a little bit on the TV. So I was always a Dallas Cowboys fan when we lived around here. Then we moved to Seattle, and then I kind of became a Seahawks fan. And actually, that was when I really started getting into football because my stepdad, who was in the Air Force, was a huge football fan. And so that was when I really started getting into it a little bit because honestly, up until then, I just basically would watch every so often. But what changed for me was being able to go and watch games live because that was my first experience with like actually going to like an NFL game back then the Seahawks sucked, so you didn't really go to watch the Seahawks. You went to watch whoever the Seahawks were going to lose to. But it was still fun, and the energy of the crowd was amazing, and that's kind of what started pulling me into football a little more. And then we moved to the East Coast. And then I kind of, at that point, I kind of fell out of love with the Eagles, or not the Eagles, but the Seahawks, because, back then they were still sucking, and I wasn't there to go watch them play live. So it kind of became this thing where the Eagles, or as the folks from Philly call them, the Eagles, or the Redskins were kind of my teams of choice on the weekends at that point on Sundays. Oh. So, did you just shudder or something?
Being in the DC, Baltimore area, I was, as a kid in high school, I was a Colts fan. And then drunk Irsay pulled them out of Baltimore in the middle of the night in a snowstorm. And I couldn't stand the Redskins. And I would never latch onto the Redskins. And I dumped the Colts. And I just kind of I became the guy that rooted for anybody playing the Redskins or anybody playing the Colts until we got a team 15 years later.
So somebody hurt your fifis. No, I'm just playing.
Yes. Somebody did hurt my fifis. Drunk Irsay hurt my fifis.
All right. Well, actually, while we've been finishing up the show, I actually already got the Third World Ramblers page set up, and I've already started to upload the songs. It's amazing what you can do when your computer actually works, because what used to take me would have taken me 20 minutes over the last few weeks, it took me 30 seconds. So it's what I get for not maintaining regular maintenance, and there's still some things that I need to do. But anyway, we are just about out of time. Actually, we're a little bit over. I didn't realize we'd run long a little bit. Any last and final thoughts before we wrap up the show before the Super Bowl? Then we can come back on next Friday and I can cry because the Eagles will likely have lost.
Sure, I will add one more thing while we're talking about Baltimore football. To this day, every time the Colts come to Baltimore to play the Ravens get fined $50,000 by the league because they will not put Colts on the scoreboard. They put Indy on the scoreboard, and the NFL fines them $50,000.
Nice. I have to admit, that's actually a little bit funny.
Yeah. But anyway, that's about it.
All right, folks. That is going to do it for the last edition of the Robinson and Wright Show right before the Super Bowl. We'll come back next Friday night, compare notes, see whether Dan's girlfriend's pick worked out for him. Sorry.
Yeah, happy Neil Bowl, everybody.
Yeah, or you could do like the rest of the nerds and go watch the Puppy Bowl. I don't know. Anyway, we're out, folks. We're going to go out the same way we came in, so here we go. You guys enjoy the rest of your Friday night. We'll see you next week, and I will be back with you on Tuesday for America Off the Rails. Take care. Bye. And we're
You are
clear.
listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your health care? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their health care. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your health care, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your health care while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible,